Hello everyone, I am Rinkle and the topic of my today's presentation is representation of India in 20th century European literature with the reference to Siddhartha. Siddharth in the novel, it is the novel. These are my academic details and representation of India European literature. These are the another books which are representing India in the Western in the European literature. Introduction. Hermann Karl Hesse was a German novelist, essayist, and poet. He wanted to cure his sickness with life by immersing himself in Eastern philosophy. Uh, Hesse is relatively little known in his country. He has so far no large popular following. He didn't follow this much, and also he wrote in some different languages. This that is the main reason was there that he was not as much popular. His works are not so much for entertainment, but rather want to give food for the thought. In 1946 he received the Nobel Prize in Literature. Siddhartha novel by Hermann Hesse. The name Siddhartha is made up of two words in the Sanskrit language. Siddha means achieved, something is which is achieved. The artha, which means a meaning. The meaning of artha is meaning or the wealth. The one who has found meaning of existence, or he who has attained his goals. The book is the writer's ninth novel, was written in German in a simple lyrical style. It was published in the US in 1951 and became influential during 1960s. The novel is largely autobiographical and has a long, interesting, interesting history. That the novel is that writer has put some of his autobiographical elements into the novel, that his mother and grandfather and father all are also aware of the Indian culture and languages. There are two parts of the novel, and both of the these are the chapters of the parts. In the first part there is a chapter named the Brahmin Son, with Shamanas, Gautam, awakening, and in the second part there are these characters Kamla. Kamla is a character, and it is the name of chapter also. Amongst the people, Sansar by the river, the ferryman, the sun, Om, and the Govinda. Here is the spelling mistake. Four stages are there of the life of Siddhartha. The Siddhartha is not that one of that we all are aware of Gautam Buddha. He is not that. The person is the Brahmin boy, and he is there who was Siddhartha still defined himself as a philosophical and religious person and distanced himself from the world of merchants. Then he was living in the field there, the work of merchants were living there, and they were earning from the merchantry kind of works. And that is the was the first step, that he didn't like that much. And the second is that he goes more and more attached to the luxurious life and its comfort. Then in the second part, he goes attached, and he attracts by the luxurious life and comforts. The man who once disposed the merchants and the people has finally turned he has finally turned into such a child himself, and then more greedy, more unscrupulous, and more wasted than most of them. That the one who was hating at the merchantry kind of works, and then he has turned into more greedy than all of them. And the fourth one is the turning point, where he comes over all the kind of the layers and finally gets the meaning. Representation of India in the novel. The study of Siddhartha provides not only insight into Western religious thought, but also a valuable representation of the influence of religion and culture on literature. Provides insight into the theme of one's search for personal identity. Protagonist Siddhartha is restless and seeks self-realization and inner knowledge. And he left his father's household to join another, uh, to get something meaningful. Siddhartha's base insights which lead him to ordinary physical pleasure created by. that that kind of materially pleasures are also there in India. Not only the that kind of good things, that philosophical and meaningful search for meaning and all the kinds of things are presented here in the novel, but there are some weak points are also there. That Kamaswamy, the businessman, who was very much greedy and lustful toward his money and business. And the another is Kamla. The prostitution is also represented here. These are my work cited. Thank you. Now you can ask me questions.
Being lost from concentration. Right? Once you allow that, tomorrow there will be two people. There will be three people. Then you will have a habit of that. You have to take concentrate. There is a free element that you have to remember your work, not read that.
So, Rinkan, as you describe about Siddhartha, the point of view about that. So, what are your points of view about the description of India made by Hess in this work?
Okay. The description which has made upon the Indian philosophy and the particular Indian society. Both are different things. That the one is philosophical, insightful meaning, and the search for meaning and all that kind of things which the main character Siddhartha has represented. And the another one is the prostitution. Not only the prostitution, but Kamla was the one who was uh, teaching Siddhartha how to love. And at the last, his son also, she left his her son and their son, the son of Siddharth, to him. And then Siddharth learned to take responsibility of his own son, and then he learned all that kind of things. But not only the both parts are there. The one side is good and as much as the bad side, that how people were so much in the comfortable life, and the another the corrupted and merchant life also. And here are the four parts, four siddhantas are there in the novel also. That one is dukkha, that ultimate suffering is the one that one can find meaning in suffering also. That is what the Buddha also faced in his life. Then another.
Wrinkle, what is the forcing elements for writer to take this title?
Okay. The writer took that title, particularly Siddharth. That the title is very much similar to the Gautam Buddha, the life of Gautam Buddha also. That the writer's grandfather, his mother and father, all were very much aware of Indian culture and Indian languages. And then he was aware of very much many Indian songs and the Indian literature particularly. And then in the novel, that why Siddharth only is the title. That as much as that Siddharth, the Gautam Buddha left his home, and the name of Gautam Buddha was Siddharth, and he left his home. And the same here, the Siddharth also left his home to find something, and then to get he find the ultimate meaning of his life, as Gautam Buddha also had found in his life. That is the significance here. Okay, thank you.